I'd like to be taken seriously when making reviews. So what better game to start off with than Galgun Double Peace? Galgun Double Peace is a recently released game for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. It's a sequel to the 2011 game Galgun, which was released in Japan only. However, this is a very loose sequel, meaning you don't have to have any knowledge of the original to understand what's happening in the game. The game features a story mode, score attack, collection, and dressing room. The whole game is single player only, which might be for the best given the game's content. The story mode sees you playing as Hodai, a second year student. You choose your personality, which then affects your different stats. Stats can be raised or lowered later by buying certain items in the shop or by entering Doki Doki mode with different girls. It's actually surprisingly in-depth for an ecchi game, although it is still an ecchi game. The game starts with the playable character Hodai being tracked by an angel. The angel is there to be Cupid, pairing you with the one you love. But she's not the only one after you. There's also a demon girl around who makes girls aggressive towards the one they love. Panicking about the demon, the angel accidentally shoots you with her guns on full power, which means that every girl who will ever love you in your life will love you at once. But because they will love you today, if you aren't with somebody by the end of the day, nobody will ever love you again. So you have to choose which girl you love and get together with her whilst fending off the other girls. The main gameplay is an on-rail shooter similar to games like House of the Dead, where the game moves you and all you do is aim where you want to shoot. You don't shoot with a normal gun, you shoot a pheromone gun at them, which causes them to finish. After they finish, they just sort of fade away. The theme and anime art style make it feel different to other on-rail shooters, as do the innovative gameplay mechanics. Zooming in allows you to see through certain parts of the stage to discover secrets, as well as letting you slightly see through girls' clothes. Seeing through girls' clothes is not only good for you if you want to see quote epic pantsu, but also to check girls' measurements. Zooming in on the girl's breasts, waist and hips will measure them, which then saves into your collection. Doing this at the wrong time will mean that girls can get closer and attack you though. There are also sections where the game uses multiple screens active at once, where you have to keep checking each screen to check for more girls. There's also Doki Doki mode, which you can activate after getting lots of points. Doki Doki mode allows you to take up to 3 girls into this pink place for a short time, where you're meant to touch them until they orgasm. Each girl has individual specific places she likes and doesn't like to be touched. Completing Doki Doki mode alters your stats, lowering and raising different stats based on which girl you play with. There's also demon possessed girls who have little demons you have to take down, weird uses of the touchpad, side missions, multiple paths, and dialogue trees. Choosing different dialogue options changes girls' opinions of you. Depending on how much the girl you chose likes you by the end of the game, you'll get a different ending. How well you play the game in front of them also changes their opinion of you. You can also get different endings by choosing different girls to hook up with. This adds a lot of replay value, making replaying the game worth it to try alternate endings. The gameplay itself is simple enough to be fun, but has enough features that it doesn't get tiring even after playing the game for a long time. At any point in the main gameplay, if you press L3 and R3 at the same time, you'll enter the Mum's Arrived screen. This pauses gameplay and switches over to what just looks like an ordinary JRPG, although you can't do anything and pressing any button returns you to normal gameplay. Its purpose is for if somebody, for example your mother, comes into the room and you don't want her to judge you for playing the game. She'll probably still wonder why your dick's in your hand though. Aside from the main game, there are also alternative modes mentioned earlier. Once you've beaten a level in story mode, you unlock it in score attack, where you can replay the level to try and get a high score or just to play a specific level without having to play the rest of the game. Collection lets you learn everything about all the girls in the game as long as you've collected the information in the main game. Once you've collected all the information about a certain girl, you can fantasize about her. Fantasizing lets you look at a girl from any angle. Pretty much, it lets you look up their skirt. You can change them into any of their 3 outfits that you've unlocked, change the location, and change her pose. Collection also boasts a gallery where you can view any image you've seen in a story mode. Dressing room is a game feature where you can change what the girls wear. You can individually change each of the 4 main girls as well as the background characters, although this will change every single background character's clothes, not uniquely to each girl. One problem the game has is that it doesn't allow you to record many parts of the game with the built-in PS4 gameplay recorder. Certain scenes will end up censored by an ugly black box when you watch a recording, and some scenes like the final level, collection mode, and the game's OP won't let you record at all. Another problem is that the physics aren't the best. It won't be noticeable if you don't look for it, but if you look closely, sometimes girls' hands will glitch through their skirts. Also, some of the English subtitles are questionable. I noticed one line with a grammar error, and characters saying things like total scrub, which is questionable. Overall, the game does have some really fun moments, but it might not be worth full price for most people. It's a sort of game where you get exactly what you expect. If you think you'll like it, you will. If you think it sounds bad, you won't like it. Zoom in for Epic Pantsu. Hell yeah, I don't know what button the zoom in button is gonna be, but the zoom in button is gonna be used a lot for some no, I'm not joking. It says Epic Pantsu there.